What's going on, people? You are tuned in to the Offside Chat podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We are in the studio today with the one and only Naeem. What's going on, Naeem, brother? All
Yeah,
good?
I'm all well, bro. I've got a lot to talk about from the weekend's football, so looking forward to having an open and frank discussion with my brothers. So yeah,
Cool. And we have got Edward. What's going on, Edward? You were wearing the glasses before. Obviously, you're not wearing it now. Can you give us some insight onto? Do you know what I mean?
When
Do
you
you
wear
see the
glasses,
light now? You can see now. Now you're with your brothers. Your eyes are clear. Do you know what I mean?
you know what it is? You have to give your eyes a rest sometimes, man. Yeah. Listen, it's long. I pray you guys have 2020 vision until the day you go and see your Lord and Savior, man, because it's
Yeah.
long. Especially when it's raining, it gets all steamed up. You look like a young fass. Just
Well,
all
listen.
steaming up.
If you're not jet setting around the world and stuff, you could have saved that dough and got laser eye treatment. But you like the fast life,
I'm not gonna
labels,
get
air miles,
that.
classic Sakai's. This is the life you chose, isn't it? And then your eyes come.
Listen, I'm broke, baby. I ain't got no money.
And then your eyes come last, isn't it? Oh, Edward, priorities. But listen, man, good to have you brothers on there. Listen, let's just kick straight into it because we're going to be discussing the biggest Premier League stories of the weekend so far. And we have to start on Sunday. It was Super Sunday at the Emirates Stadium. It was Arsenal versus Manchester City, which finished a draw 1-1. But there is the main talking point of, that game. It's literally like, I don't know what's happened today. It's like the whole of social media is just being dominated by one man and one man only, and it is Mikel Arteta, which is it's interesting. Now, at first, it's good that you can calm down after the game, analyze things, your emotions, subside a little bit. You look at the positives and stuff. And I've got to say, we will quickly touch on the game quickly, but I've got to say that yesterday, I kind of, for the first time, was like, right, you know me, I'm Arteta in, I support our manager. Like I think all Arsenal fans want him to, yeah, you're saying that, but you want him to win, you want him to do well. And I was thinking, yeah, I was very, very, very upset about the first half in terms of how it was set up, the lineup. But lo and behold, it always goes too far. When I kind of think that the supporters are in unison and thinking, yeah, do you know what? Collectively, for the first time, we can all take a look at that first half and the lineup and say, okay, we're not happy with it. But then, lo and behold, it goes too far. The agendas start running. People are getting carried away. Old harbored feelings for the man are resurfacing again. But just like, and this is where they've lost me again. They had me that, and they literally. I was thinking, do you know what? I think we're in unison here, and then it's gone too far. So look, let's start with Edward first. Is he too conservative? I think that is such a for you anyway. The listeners have to hear. Is he too conservative? What did you make of yesterday's game?
You have to say he is conservative by nature, or whether it was by a new design. So we can all harken back to the 22-23 season where, we started playing this brand of really, really beautiful, swift, fast attacking football, right? And we were just going into games and, swatting teams aside. And I think everyone says it was a City game where they punched us up home and away. I think Holden had to come in for Saliba. And yeah, Pep really showed he's the master to Mikel's apprentice, and it's just a bad defeat. And I think since then, it's triggered now we see the conservative nature where he wants to have every facet of the game under control. So from minute 1 to 90, under control. We do not give anything away. We have the best defense in the league, or up there at least. We easily have the two best central defenders as a partnership in England and maybe in Europe. Rice has been an amazing six. You had Partey for a while. Now you have Zubimendi. You have fullbacks that are essentially centre backs by trade. And it's just like, he wants to control every asset, every facet of the game, and doesn't give anything away for the opposition. And as a result, you get these stodgy, low-scoring games at times. You know, we don't overperform at XG. All the stats show that, you know, the manager is conservative, especially in the big games. Now we have had some success in the big games. I think until Liverpool beat us a couple of weeks ago, we hadn't lost in 20 odd games against top 6 opposition. So he has his merits. Now, where he went wrong last night was you're at home. You're at home against City, a title rival, a team that aren't the City of old. You know, this isn't 2-3 years ago where they were guaranteed a league title. They're the best in class. They're the best defense, best midfield, best attackers, and then the best manager. There are a lot of holes in the City side. They've already lost 2 games. They lost to Spurs. They lost to Brighton. They were there for the taking. Now, everyone saw the lineup. And it's funny because all the people that justified the lineup against Liverpool away from home justified the lineup again at home to City. However, we go 1-0 down inside 10 minutes, a brilliant piece of counter-attacking football. Reinders breaks through the middle. You see that lovely run from Haaland, slots him in, slots it past Raya, 1-0, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, all that kind of stuff. And then we tried to, push the tempo, force the issue, wasn't working. Second half comes, what happens? Now we find out that Noni has maybe got a knee injury. He's got undergoing tests. So that's why he was taken off. Saka comes on.
Eze.
Replace Mourinho for Eze. Now, This lets you know the Noni one, that's an injury, and we pray for Noni. We hope he's not out for too long. But the Eze for Marino, that lets us know that maybe Arteta might have got it wrong from the offset. From the offset. All the fans that were saying, Marino has a place in the squad, especially away from home, especially in the big games because he does X, Y, Z. He's this type of player, X, Y, Z. Your own manager admitted that,
did he? Well, I don't think he admitted it.
In substitution, in a substitution.
Okay.
So much like, but also with Arteta, what he says versus what he does, 2 different things. So he might not say that I got it wrong, but what you see is an admission that I did get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just frustrating because it's like you have an insane amount of defensive talent. We are probably the most stocked defensive team. We have 8 or 9 genuine brilliant defenders, right? Or on the cusp of being brilliant defenders. Our back four speaks for itself. And you've got players like Hincapi coming in. Mosquera's been a breath of fresh air, a revelation. Whenever there's a defender or a defensive midfielder we are in the market for, we get them. There's never no dilly-dally. There's never nothing. We replace defenders with defenders like that. Like that. What I want Arteta to do is trust your defense more. Trust your defense more because it's one of the best coach defenses in the league and possibly in world football. Trust the defense, man. Why are you too conservative? You brought Eze in, all the hoopla, let it all work out. The boy's coming home. He's got the 10 shirt. That 10 shirt is quite sacred at Arsenal. I know Gallas wore it. Babawenga, that's your own fault. You shouldn't have done that. But the 10 shirt, we've had some real top guys wearing that 10 shirt. Arguably the greatest to wear the 10 shirt is Dennis Bergkamp. You had Ozil wearing it. Jack Wilshere had the 10 for a little while. We've had some real guys wear that 10 shirt with distinction. Why is Eze on the bench? Why? And what annoys me is his cult-like following. They are gonna, try and rationalize everything he does.
But Ed, I don't think. Yeah, you're right. Usually, and let me interject.
We drew the game.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, we drew the game, bro.
Yeah, but what I'll say to that is obviously I've got to challenge you with these guys on these points, and I'm going to change it a bit because the question is Mikel Arteta too conservative? I think he can be conservative. I don't think he's conservative in totality, because this was the same Manchester City team, which were arguably better than they were this season, and they got slapped 5-1. Leeds got slapped 5-0. So teams have been beaten. Sporting Lisbon away, was that 5-1? Chelsea, was that 4-1 or 3-1? Again, was it last season, maybe the season before, I believe. So teams have been taken apart. Ed, I'm on your side here, but what I don't want people to do, and you haven't done it, it's not you. It's not aimed at you, but people get carried away and then start, right, he's had some conservative games, and then we're going to just, brandish him as this Tony Pulis manager that is just conservative, when we know people have taken spankings from Arsenal. There was a time before, and I'm going to touch on the game because you made some great points. There was a time before under Arsene Wenger that we used to play swashbuckling football. We used to play the team off the park, and they just used to just beat us. They just had the nuance. They were physically stronger than us. They were just better defensively than us. And they'll just beat us. And it was the same thing every season. We're getting top four, we're playing good football. Arsenal fans were crying. Now it seems like the frustration with Arteta at times is because you have now built a team for all weathers, all conditions. The team's there. You want to play swashbuckling football, you've got it there. You want to play the nasty game, you've got it there. Defensively, you've got it there. And I think, which I imagine, I don't want to speak for you, is that when it comes to certain games where you want him to take the handbrakes off, he's putting it on. So, for example, the Liverpool game, another point that you made, away from home. I saw a stat with, once you start Mourinho, Rice, and Zubimendi, I think out of 10 games, I think we've only won 2.
Rice, Mourinho, I think those two starting.
Rice, Mourinho. Yeah,
only
so
win away at Ipswich.
In midfield.
Away at Ipswich was the only win they've had, those two together.
Which again is not a midfield. Like, away at home to Liverpool, the champions of the champions, swashbuckling football, scoring goals for fun. I agree. The artisexuals can say, look, we have to keep things tight, and again, the mistake that was made, maybe it wasn't changed earlier, but you're right. At home against a wounded City, let's just be real, they're not the City of old. You've already dealt a blow to them last season, beating them 5-1. That's on their mind, remember this, they're still on their mind. Haaland not getting any joy in the last couple of seasons. And then you're at home. You're right. You've got the best defense. Timber, everybody available. Gabriel, Saliba's been brought back. You've got Rice, who is an 8, but he can obviously play as a 6. You've got Zubimendi. This is your star 6. It was crying out for a midfield player, a number 10, who can just go and take the game to City. There was no need for extra Mourinho in there. It was actually very horrible to watch in that first half. But Naeem, is it credit to Mikel? Because we all called it. I don't think there was anyone that said that, oh my God, we're happy with the lineup. But was it credit for Mikel for at halftime? I've criticised him for always waiting to change on 70 minutes. I saw Eza and Saka on the touchline. I thought, okay, he has got it wrong. Is he ever going to admit that he's got it wrong? No. But like Ed has said, from the substitutions, is that fair play to him? Because he did change.
Yes and no. I'll say one thing, though, is the first half performance was so poor, he had to change it, right? He didn't really have an option.
We've seen games where he hasn't changed it, though.
He haven't, but I think it came to roost. I think one obviously we all talked about Mourinho starting in the 10 or whatever position he allegedly played, but what also concerned me with that team was Trossard on the left. I think we forget about it, because as soon as you saw that team, right, what's going to happen is it's going to feed Madueke. That's all that's going to happen, because that's where the pace is, right? And that's what seemed to happen. That was the game plan. I think both Ed and you've been quite polite over it. I think you're wearing the right T-shirt for this, Naber, in terms of what I thought of Mikel Arteta. He went in shook. He went in looking
well done.
Sorry, context to everything, right, Naber? The way I looked at it for him is that he went into that game, I do not want to lose this more than I want to win it. Yeah. And I get it if you're going away. this within reason with Liverpool, I get within point, but at home against City, you want to go win the title. This is one of your rivals. You've already dropped 3 points at Liverpool. Go make a statement. That's my thoughts. My thoughts around it. I thought he was set up the game too conservatively. If he had at least played, I mean, even from the left, he had played. It started with Eza. At least I would have had maybe, okay, I can see what he's trying to do because of what happened in the second half against Liverpool once Eza came on. But he obviously looked at it and thought, I've got to change this. It was turgid. It was slow. I was not impressed whatsoever. I think you're talking about a handbrake. The handbrake was definitely up, and I mean, you know, someone said he could be, especially after this weekend, and we'll talk about a couple of the other games. But there was a lot of handbrakes. I mean, the whole society of football, there was a handbrake up this weekend. So we will talk about Arteta, but we'll talk about context with some other managers as well. And I think we do need to give a bit of context around that. But however, in the grand scheme of things, I thought a draw really was a fair result. If we're talking about the game, I thought City scored the goal and just, I mean, it was.
I mean, we are gonna move on. Yeah,
but again, I thought just with Arsenal, I'll stick with this, and we can bring up these shows. I do worry about certain games with Gyökeres there. He hasn't got a service, especially with that setup.
Without having the service, okay.
He had no service whatsoever again, and he becomes a passenger because he doesn't add anything else to the team. A few runs here and there, but you do really see it in these sort of games, especially when he's got no space or anything. And remember, City got banged up about them last week, so bring back Kai Havertz will be some of the talk about, but I think he'll cause a lot more problems up top, and that says the depth of the up front for Arsenal in that aspect.
I mean, he's going to get hung out to dry. He's going to get hung out to dry, unfortunately.
He will. I think he will. He'll be the straight goal.
With this way we play football, yeah, and you saw it. People that didn't want Gyökeres, they're now going to be reaffirmed as like, okay, see, this is why we shouldn't have gone for him. He's rubbish. He can't play football. I saw a lot of anti-Gyökeres propaganda. And listen, that's everyone's prerogative, right? But you have to be honest. When your team manager sets up like that, with no central progression in midfield, it's not like we're passing through the middle. It's not like the wingers are especially adept at finding space and making sure that they're going to feed the striker. What's the striker to do? What's the striker to do? And then now you're going to see the reemergence of Havertz as if he's going to be the guy to lead us to the promised land. He's not. So it's like, it's just
I agree. Look, typical. I knew this is 9. We are going to be speaking about the Manchester United Chelsea game, so you've forgotten about that. But yeah, with the Gyökeres stuff, I think that he is a striker that, look, I keep repeating myself. He's a striker that needs service. I think the last home game against Nottingham Forest 3-0, he got service. You started Eza. Second half as well, came on, had a chance, got an assist. It was an easy tapping for him. I just think he needs to be given chances. He's not Thierry Henry. He's not going to, create goals for himself. And that is something, this is what everybody was kind of calling out for. They just wanted a goal score. They wanted a goal score. So to be fair, I'm not going to get drawn into that. It was quite a negative game in the first half. I thought the second half was much positive. It was good to have Saka back on in the second half. Obviously, Eza again. I think what happened here is we're going to probably have a little bit of a problem now because he didn't start your new 60 million or 60 plus million pound number 10. He's Premier League proven. I think he came out and said that that's not what the game needed. I mean, look, we don't need to cap about that, Mikel. It was a mistake from you. I think you were overthinking again. Something that has happened quite a few times before. It's just there's just no way that you should be starting the midfield 3. I think Mikel came out, and look, Mikel's got my support. He's our manager. The reason why I find it frustrating is that I think Petit came out and said something yesterday that, who's going to be next? Like, if he doesn't get it over the line. I think I'm at that stage now. I want you to get it over the line. I'm not worried about anyone else now. I want you to do. I don't want. I want you to build, and then the next manager can come in. Like, I want you to get it over the line because I think you deserve it. The hard work you've done, I think you deserve to do it. And what frustrates me is that it was the lineup. This is where it's like 4 steps forward and then it's a step back. It's like Ed has said, like we've all said, just trust your defense at home. You don't start. It's quite criminal, to be fair. You're not starting Eze. And look what's happened now. Eze in 2 games at the Emirates, he's got 2 assists. 2.
And
I'll tell you one thing, Odegaard won't play that ball.
No way.
Martinelli.
No way. It'll be on the floor. You won't even think to go route 1.
No way.
But you know what's frustrating about the Eze signing is this is a guy this is his dream to play for the club. So you know more than anyone, he's going to play properly. He's going to play with sense. I know people said, oh, well, we had a bit of a tough time in the Champions League against Bilbao. Cool. That's a step up in level. But in the league, he knows the league inside out. You bet your bottom dollar. And he's a big game player. You saw last season what he'd done for Palace, getting into the FA Cup final and scoring a winning goal.
Semi-final again, he scored a screamer against Villa. He's a big game player, man.
He was a big game player. And the fact that this was his dream to play for the club. And listen, it's early days. He might go on to become, Arteta's lieutenant, as in the first name in the team sheet, all of that stuff. Just play him. Trust him. Odegaard's gone down. This is a guy that can play in that position. He can play in the 10. He can play in the left. He can play in the right. Arteta fancies these kind of players. He likes those multiple profile players that can play in different positions. Why is he on the bench? It's just frustrating. And again, this is a Man City team that was there for the taking. They're not scary anymore. You still have to respect them, but that fear factor is gone. And you're letting them come to your book. Spurs are Brighton to beat them. Spurs are Brighton.
And you know what was frustrating about it as well? And look, I don't want to keep kicking a man what he's done because I definitely know that even the questions post game, even the questions post match were all about, did you regret starting with that midfield 3? He was even getting spiky and frustrated about it. But do you know what was even more damning? Not the fact that he brought on Eze and Saka, and it was kind of admission that he made a mistake. It's the fact that the goal that was conceded, like, it just blew up after it went 1-0. That tells you that plan you had it's just blown up because they were literally running in quicksand trying to get Reinders. I was thinking, okay, you've got 3 CDMs. Where are they? They just got taken out. And Haaland, fantastic run. I called the goal from before. I'm watching Haaland galloping. I'm like, you've got 3 DMs here. Where's your protection for the back? It was gone. So again, it just didn't work. And I hope that that's the last time we're going to be seeing that because there's no need for that to happen.
You know that's not going to be the last time. If there's anything that this guy is, he's conservative and he's stubborn. He's too entrenched in his philosophy. And I was speaking to one of my boys, and he said he feels that Arteta is in love with the process. Everything's about being overcoached, all these zones, and you can't move out of a certain zone, and it's too much. Release the handbrake. Trust these players. These are professional players, These ain't idiots. They understand the game. So, like, trust your Eze. Trust your Jesus. Trust all these attacking players, and we'll get there. But again, you know my thoughts on Arteta. You know I don't think he's the guy to take us anywhere. These games are all too a friendly reminder that we're not going to do that. I'll just tell you guys a little thing, yeah. We had one clear-cut chance yesterday. Our XGs were similar, but they're the away side. It's not on them to have a better XG than us.
No. Now, listen, this is why I'm going to pause on that because it's a nasty agenda.
No, it's not a nasty agenda, bro. No, it is. I don't know why. The same agenda. Sorry. No, the same praise that our Arsenal fans were doing against Liverpool. You're now saying, "Oh, City can't do that. There's nasty."
But
no.
And
they went up 1-0. And they went up 1-0.
I'm gonna have to disagree because this home side and away side. When Arsenal went to City last season or the 2 seasons before and got the 1-1 draw, they were called too conservative. And City were at home and the current champions. Arsenal and Mikel got all the question marks oh, look, be brave, Gary Neville. Why don't you go out there and try to win the game? The way you have to win the title is if you go out there and win the game. And we were away from home at City, the reigning champions. Arsenal got the flack for that. Again, we drew. Arsenal get the flack for that. We go to Liverpool. Yes, they won from a spectacular free kick. But the way that he set up, they're the away team. The only talking point about Liverpool was, why didn't he make the subs earlier? Fair play. But nothing was said about the home team doing nothing. Because Liverpool didn't do anything. It's a nasty agenda. I hear what you're saying because you're being genuine though, Ed. But you can't speak for these other charlatans because they're not. You can't now say, oh, you know, they're the home team. I could give you example after example where we've gone out, tried to keep things tight, and he gets the flack. Now, what about City?
You know what? I don't care about that. But what do you say?
Well, you have to care because
I know. You know why? Because their job is to shape media narrative.
Okay.
I'm looking about what my team do, and my thing is, we've got 1 point from a possible 6 against teams that are meant to be title rivals. Not so much City because City are in flux, but definitely Liverpool. We've conceded the advantage already. I know it's a lot more games to play. We're only in September. The season doesn't finish till May, so there's ups and downs. They can go for a rough patch. We know this. I'm not trying to say that this title's lost already.
Yeah.
But to be... They're 5 points clear of us, right? Or was it 6 points clear?
They're 5 points clear.
5 points clear, right? And they're not even playing well. And that's the scary thing is, so there's a possibility that they can click into gear. We don't want it to happen, but if they click into gear, they could possibly run away. Now, again, like I said, there's a lot of football to be played. It's early days. We went to Liverpool to play for a draw. We lost. We should have gone. We were at home against City. And what City wanted to do, that's their prerogative. We should have forced the issue. What happens is we get too wrapped up in, but when we do it, we don't win. We haven't won. We've got 1 point. So, unfortunately, the narrative is going to look bad on us anyway because you didn't get the draw at City, Liverpool, and you didn't beat City. So all this, but the teams that we played got the favourable result. A point away from home is better than a point at home. Liverpool were the team at home, and they got the 3 points. They got the job done. So as much as the whole narrative, look at what Arsenal are doing. You're not getting the results to justify how you're playing. So that's my situation. It's not about the media narrative from Sky and TNT. Who cares? That's their job. They're going to spin it. And everyone knows that Arsenal fans, we get a rise out of everything. Say something, we're ready to go at people. So that's why it's done. It's on purpose because we are very sensitive as a fan base.
No, listen. So, okay. Yeah, no, fair point.
Yeah, there's one part of that. I think it is exacerbated by the media, but I think one thing they can be right and wrong because I think if you look at the Arsenal squad, they should, I think there's a bit of frustration saying, well, you've got the players there now. Why are we playing the handbrake? I think that's where, even in the media, and they obviously go full out because obviously the reaction from Arsenal fans is priceless in that aspect, right? So let's stir the pot in that aspect. So I think there's a bit of, I like to use the word Bollywood over it with it being Arsenal. But, to Ed's point, I mean, it is early in the season and maybe we look at it 10 games, 15 games in. But, we've had this discussion. Is this to a point where Arteta's taken Arsenal as far as he can? Can he coach? I look at who did he brought in Gabriel Heinze, who's a centre-back, as his assistant coach. Does that just show you everything about his thought process potentially as well? I mean, I would like to see this on a positive.
No, but who should he have brought in though?
No, I'm just thinking in terms of his mindset. I'm not saying it's not a bad thing, but he's defensively already there, right? It's all he does is defense. You look at his whole setup, are they all defending? You do need a bit of risk in it. One thing I will give a bit of positivity though, Gabriel Martinelli's finish was fantastic. I think, I think with all the tactics and the XGs and parking the buses, it was a great finish for him, considering that how his confidence is at the moment and a lot of eyes on him from certain members of the Arsenal community.
I think there's a lot of members, but Naeem, look, I've called this before. Look, I do believe that he's been misprofiled, and again, the 2 goals that he scored the goal against Bilbao away, running centrally, all over the top. He's running on again. Another goal centrally, ball over the top. Martinelli runs onto it and finish it. Because if it was on the flank, he's not going to build. You know, he's not going to cut back. So yeah, it was a good finish. I think. Yeah, I mean, looking at the games, Manchester United away. Of course, you had Leeds, Liverpool away, Manchester City at home. I think the test next week against Newcastle. If Arsenal get the win, it's going to be a tough. But if Arsenal, and it's a must-win probably. If Arsenal get the win, then you'll probably look at that. You'll still be disappointed with Liverpool. I think you'll be disappointed with Man City. But that's as tough as a start you're going to get for most clubs. And if he'll
start setting midfield.
I
wouldn't be surprised if he starts with Mourinho again in the 10, like next week.
Honestly, I don't think he'll.
You don't know with him, innit?
No, I just don't think I don't think he'll do that. And look, the positive is that Saka is back, and like Ed said, he made a great point. Episode 3, away at Liverpool, that Madueke, running at defenders, beating them from the inside and the outside. But the end product, you've got one of the best guys in the business with end product now. So, and you've got a possibility of Eze and him having a full game together. So this is why Newcastle, I know they're licking their lips. They haven't got Isak anymore. I'm not saying that it's not going to be difficult, of course, but it's got to that stage now where you have to go there and impose yourself. And after this result and the flat that they've got, they have to go and do this. However, listen, all the criticism was from Mikel Arteta, and I think it's unfair, as you know. What about Pep? Pep's tactics. This is the first time I've seen a City team, honestly. I was looking at the stats yesterday. I thought, I've actually never... Haaland was brought off with 10, 15 minutes left to go. Stones comes on. Akanji comes on. So although we can look at it and rightfully say, let's just look at ourselves and we were negative in the first half or we didn't create enough chances. This is Pep Guardiola, arguably the greatest manager of all time. And that's still a very talented City squad. And he was hanging on, as you guys call it, haram football. This is Manchester City. I don't care what you say. They haven't fallen off that much, lads. They've fallen off, but not to that extent that they're doing that. Any top 4 team, may I add, or top 5 team, like we're going on like, oh my God, City now, they're languishing in 8th. They're going to finish 8th. And this is still a Champions League club that even at their worst season, they're getting top 4. Some people praised Wenger and said he deserves the key to Islington because he was getting us top 4. So he was still doing a great job at the end of the day, Arsene Wenger. But that's what I'm saying. They finished 3rd in the Premier League. So there's still no money. They've spent how much in the summer? 200 million.
Something like that. That's what it's Jan as well. A bit there.
I'm personally not hearing any excuse. I don't know why they're getting away with this now. They're still spending money. Oh my God, they're going through a transition. You don't get that much amount of money to spend. It looks like the points deduction stuff is going. Things are going their way undercover, but he's playing a very clever game. But this is the great Pep Guardiola, Ed. This is the lowest, I think, possession that they've had. I was thinking, what is going? Look, I'm not saying Arteta doesn't get his criticism. He deserves it. Let's move on. We're talking about Pep now, and we're looking at the stats. 33% possession.
Lowest ever, right? Lowest
ever. They have not beaten Arsenal in the last 5 games. Again, Ed, you're right. Before you guys go on, it's all about winning trophies and stuff. But let's use a bit of context here. They must fear Arsenal. That's what makes it more frustrating that he didn't go for the jugular, because it's like
that's what I need you to say, bro. Again, reflects even worse on Arteta that this is a guy that was scared to play you because you got smashed up 5-1 last year. So there's no criticism for Pep. Pep, it's not that he's above criticism. Arteta, this guy was shook to play you, and you still let them leave with a point. Like this lets me know if the shoe was on the other foot, does Pep play that kind of lineup? Pep kills Arteta if the shoe's on the other foot. If Arteta's wounded, Pep goes to the.
Well, we've been wounded. Remember, we went there. The first title race was it
when Saliba was mash. And what happened?
Holding
What happened?
Holding with his thing,
So it just lets you know that there's levels to this. That there's a ruthlessness that I don't think Arteta has. He doesn't smell blood. He doesn't sniff blood. He's not a shark, and it's a shame. He's a good manager, but these are the things that separate you from the rest. A prime Wenger kills you. SAF kills you. Mourinho kills you. Conte might even kill you. Klopp will kill you. These are league title winners. They win leagues. Arteta can get you to a certain point, and we pray that he can get you over the line. But it's instances like these that let you know that, yeah, he hasn't got that killer streak, because you're letting Pep come to your ground and play haram ball. He's playing 5-5-0. He took off Haaland, all that kind of stuff. They were still 1-0 up, though. That's the thing. People are forgetting that.
Akanji come, honestly, bro.
Yeah,
they were winning, though. They were winning up.
And that's what I'm saying. They took the lead and still played around football. We didn't take the lead against Liverpool. We lost. We didn't take the initiative. They at least seized the initiative, and they still had another chance in the second half with Haaland when he hits it straight at Raya. So again, like, there's no criticism for me for Pep. I'm only looking at Arteta because at the end of the day, you were the home side. It should, like, we praised Mourinho when he used to do haram. That's where Mourinho made his name for, being very tight, very conservative in the big games and then washing the rest. So if Pep wants to do that, that's your prerogative, man. At the end of the day, we're trying to win a league title, the first league title in 21 years. And you've got a manager that's too scared to lose. He's more scared about losing than he is about winning. He's concerned about not losing as opposed to taking initiative.
Against rivals, against certain games. Yeah, I agree.
And okay, you say that, yeah?
Yeah.
Every game we played this season, in the league especially, have we looked good? Have you been satisfied with the way we played?
Well,
the result
have been happy 5-0 against Leeds.
No, but was that a good game, though? The performance wasn't great, though.
Score aside, was that a good game?
Okay, lads, look, when you get into the beginning of the season, I know some teams just start off great. I don't think Liverpool have looked good once. They've won, but remember, let's stay on performance. You said we haven't looked good, though. Have Liverpool looked good? Has City looked? Which team has actually looked good?
My concern is this Arsenal team looks very similar to last year in terms of the way they're playing football. It's quite turgid. There's no pace in the team whatsoever, even with the signings. So even we can say that, but City finished the City really well last year. Liverpool won the league, didn't they? Sort of thing, and they're not playing the greatest. They are getting performance. They're still getting. They've still got
maximum points. But not playing well.
By not playing well, Arsenal aren't playing well. 5 points behind. So
yeah,
there is a bit around there. I think I do get the view as City.
Did you not say that the games play or the fixtures? You got Burnley. Who else have they? Liverpool had. Newcastle's a tough game.
Newcastle away is tough, and let's see what Arsenal do. As much as Newcastle played pretty well,
and then they've got Everton at home. I mean,
I hear it. You can only
I know they played 5. We played 5, but I mean,
they still got the points in the board, and they beat Arsenal, that sort of thing. And then it was City. I think it was City. So in certain respects, I think Pep looked at it and thought, okay, you know what? Last season he was already thought about that a bit. Scored early. Let's park the bus because at the end of the day, we've lost 2 games already. So for him, losing that game was bigger than winning in that aspect.
So both managers were thinking the same thing, and to conclude it,
I can't speak on
because it's
Pep
clear that
is a proven winner. Pep has proven one thing. So
yeah, no, that's true.
We've got a bit. We could take. He's got more
credit in the bank.
Credit in the bank.
This is the greatest to ever do it.
So where Arteta's like, well, you haven't done it yet, so there's a little bit of eyes on him in that aspect.
I just think, guys. Listen, I think we've all made great points. I think, we're all on the same, sync. What I didn't want things to do, which I'm noticing, it is going too far now. And I understand there's time to be frustrated. I'm hearing certain people that I listen to saying he'll never get another job in football. He's not going to get a top job. When it's just like, it's pathetic. The Bayern Munich manager is Vincent Kompany, who got relegated by Burnley. This Arteta will walk into any. Honestly, they'll give him the chance. Yeah, of course. And they'll probably say, look, you just need to let the handbrakes off again. His reputation is record high. That's why I kind of really want him to actually just look, go and get your major trophy, man. Hold that. At least you could say that. But listen, we could carry on talking about this all episode, but we do need to move on because it was another huge game. Now, Manchester. Actually, no, it was. It was a huge game. It was Manchester United versus Chelsea, which finished 2-1. Before the game, Ed, you're looking at this fixture, you're thinking it's going to be more pain for Amorim. This used to be, these are basically two old giants here. Now, I know Chelsea supporters are going to pipe up and say, yeah, but we've continued winning trophies. But this fixture here was title winning fixtures, isn't it?
Oh,
this was, this was Mourinho back-to-back 2 titles, and then Alex Ferguson 3. And then Ancelotti comes in and does the double, beats you in the FA Cup. This was a huge fixture. The teams are not as good as they were before. But Chelsea were going in as favourites. Obviously, the red card to Robert Sanchez, that really changed the game, Ed. What did you think of it? Die at fair, personally. But
listen, I was so disappointed with Chelsea, man. I wanted Chelsea to put United in the dirt further. Instead, Sanchez put them in the dirt. Like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? What are you doing? And the funny thing is, Maresca should hang his head in shame because he got so scared and took off all his attacking players. I know Cole Palmer might have an injury.
Probably had a groin, yeah.
Reoccurring groin injury. But you took off Esteval, you took off Palmer,
Neto.
You just left Neto and João Pedro, and you defenders and midfielders, Andre Santos. And it's like, I think you paid too much respect to United. United is still rubbish.
So breaking news, guys.
Who's the
Victor Gyökeres has won the Gerd Muller Trophy at the Ballon d'Or Awards. Hold that name. Right, continue.
What did say? No. That isn't a trophy for Arteta. That don't count, yeah?
No, Ballon d'Or winner. Hold
no, he won the Gerd Muller Trophy, not the Ballon d'Or. Clear. Striker of the year. Just saying.
I'm just saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, what is that? And it's not this one. I've seen this film before. You know what I mean? You get a fantastic Tudor. Oh no, it's not the one with diamond bezels on it. Or do you know what I mean? You get whatever it is. There's always the next one, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You get a car. Oh, actually, do you know what I mean? It's a Ballon d'Or Gerd Muller Trophy.
Credit to him, and and he scored a lot of goals last season.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to win it next season.
No way. Not with this manager leading the charge. No way. No way.
Sorry, Ed, I just had to drop the news.
You know the manager that for me would take Arsenal to the next level won the Johan Cruyff Trophy, didn't he? Right out of this.
Who?
Luis Enrique.
Oh, well deserved. Remember, that was my if my guy was to go, that was my choice. Actually, breaking news again, Ed. We're going to let you land on this. Wow. At the award show for the best leaping jump, Benjamin Sesko has won the award for the best
high jump of the year.
The award. I think it was the transfer story pick of the year so far. That one when he's jumping, he's linked with everyone. And people actually convinced themselves, oh my gosh, I've got to get this guy. Like, I'm thinking, what this picture? So there you go. Your boy has won an award for the highest leap with his legs open.
Like a stripper.
Man Jordan impersonation. Yeah. Where was he on Saturday? Ed? I don't mean to be nasty, but that's a £70 million player here. Do you know what I mean? Gyökeres is winning, the Gerd Muller Ballon d'Or award. You've got this guy up here scoffing at that, like, where was he at Old Trafford as they got their win against Chelsea?
Unfortunately, with Sesko, there's going to be a lot of pain. And it's not even his fault. He should never have gone there. They should never have signed him.
It's not his fault, but he's playing, isn't he? He's playing rubbish, isn't he?
Hear me out. He was obviously touted around by his agents to every team, right? Every team. So I think his agents have oversold and underdelivered. This is not the guy for now. He is clearly a guy for the future if he gets there, right? There's facets about his game that once he knits it together, he could be a serious striker, possibly, right? But you're going into one of the greatest clubs ever in history. They got rid of their last project striker for a new project striker, and it didn't make sense. They needed someone that can hit the ground running now, not someone that can be good in 2-3 seasons. They need now. And his agents and him to blame as well, to be fair, actually, because he could say, listen, I don't want to go United. I want to go Newcastle. I want to go somewhere I can buy a bit more time and work on my craft, and then I can get the move. But
that's why he went to United, Ed, unfortunately.
Maybe that's why he's going to, yeah.
That's exactly why he went.
What, where he can bide his time? There's no time to be bided at United.
Remember, this is a youth man, though, as well. So, again, he probably hasn't seen, last time Man United won a league title, I think he was 9.
None of him, how does he do 21?
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So, this young guy was just had no idea. I want to go Man United. He probably thought he can buy himself time. They're not in Europe, so he can just bed himself in. And again, sorry, I just have to point out, because we're pointing out strikers. We talk about Arsenal, and next thing Gyökeres gets blamed for.
Unfortunately, he played against 7 centre backs in the end, because Haram football was all over the weekend.
And he's played against Championship or League One.
No, League Two. League
Two, sorry, defenders as well, and he was doing some aerial bicycle kicks.
He won a lot of duels in that game, though. Remember that? He won a lot of duels.
It's going to be with Sesko. I know we'll talk about the game, but with Sesko, it's going to be a very, 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 very difficult time for him, because the club. I know they won, so congratulations for getting 3 points, United. Obviously, you were helped by the red card or whatever, but you still had to, go and do the business. But yeah, they're just not a good side at the moment. They're not a good club. They're lacking confidence in all facets of the game. Injuries as well. It's not a good time to play for United. And for a striker like that needs time, is he going to get time? If results keep on going the way they've been going, apart from obviously this weekend, is Amram going to be there? It's just too many questions, not enough answers. So
now everyone's going on Sesko, Ed. I want to ask you again, Chelsea. To be fair, look, Casemiro got sent off as well, so it was equal. But Chelsea went down to 10 men. Mbeumo and Cunha again. I don't think Cunha has scored even in pre-season. So this is another game. You go down to 10 men. You should really be stretching the game here. What do you think of these two? Because these two were the ones to take Manchester United to the Champions League.
Cunha's not fully fit. He's just come back to freeze. That's one thing. He's been out a couple of games, hasn't he, Cunha?
Cunha's not fully fit. But also as well, unfortunately, with these two players, you're buying them after a purple patch. This is not really who they are. No. You're buying them after top seasons from them. It's not like they've got a run of form like 3-4 years of them doing this.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Them once they banged for one season, and it was a good season. And at the end of the day, that's all you need in football. Sometimes all you need is one season, and then you get your move, right? So we don't know if this is really their level, as in the sense of, are they a consistent 15 to 20 goals a season kind of guy? Now United need them to be, because again, you paid 65 for Cunha, 71 all in for Mbeumo. We're going to need to see what you've done at Brentford and at Wolves, respectively, every week.
If I'm not mistaken, you're right. That's nearly 200 million spent on 3 forwards, and they've got 1 goal between them in the Premier League.
Yeah. And do you know what? I think Mbeumo is going to be a regular source of goals.
He's the one that's got the goal, hasn't he? Yeah.
He's the one that got the goal. I really like him.
He's got the best player for United, hasn't he?
So what did you say, name, bro?
He's looked like he's been their best player. If you think about it.
I do believe he's going to be probably a regular source of goals. Now, will he get 20? We don't know. I think for him to get 20, he has to be on penalties as well. I don't think he's going to get 20 non-penalty goals. That's a lot of goals. Obviously, we know that Bruno Fernandes is the set-piece taker, free kicks, pens, corners, all that kind of stuff. So he's going to stat pad that way, right? In terms of the game, I think the pitch didn't help. The pitch and the ref were just a match made in hell. because the ref was just ready, trigger happy, man. Anything. Obviously, now these are proper fouls though, but he didn't let the game go. Every little thing he blew his whistle, cards left and right. Casemiro's an idiot for getting sent off. It wasn't a second yellow, but he gave the keeper, he gave the ref no choice. If you're on a yellow, behave yourself. Needless foul. Now you put your team in danger. And I think that's where Maresca's got to look at himself, because United always give you chances. They will always shoot themselves in the foot. So I think he was a bit too gung-ho in the change. He didn't need to ring that many defensive changes, man. You could have kept Esteban, I think, and you probably would have got the point.
All Neto. At least you got the pace going up top, isn't it? At least
you two are spot on, because I don't think, unless someone who is Maresca, look, he's done well at Chelsea, but I think you two have called it right. You're not away against Arsenal. You're not away against Liverpool. You're away against Manchester United. You should know this is the team that struggled against Grimsby. They've struggled. The only team to beat was Burnley. You got to think, this team, come on, we could trust ourselves, to be fair.
Yeah.
You've got a player like, you've got Enzo there, you've got Casado there, you still got the back four. You've got to think, right, we're going to have to go. We still had James. Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's just like he went so negative straight away. And then look, Casemiro gets sent off. And you're thinking, okay, but I've taken everyone.
Everyone off.
3 subs at that point, isn't it? Because of with
everyone off, and it's like, obviously he wasn't to know, but he's probably thinking, why did I do that? Because 10 versus 10, you still fancy Chelsea with some of their attacking players on. I know Cole Palmer had to go, the groin injury, but again, if you had Esteban,
that's a blow for them. That's a blow for them.
Massive hit. But if you had Esteban on the pitch, it might be 2-2. You know what I mean? And
remember, Casemiro got sent off at half time. Or was it like this is the thing? So you've got a second half there. Ed, great points that you've made there. Naeem, in regards to Chelsea, it is very, very early days. Just looking at the table now, they are 6. So to be fair, they're on 8 points, 7 off the top. They've got to have to turn this around, to be fair. It looks like they're still, although they're world champions, although they're back in the Champions League, there still seems, I don't know if the mask has fallen off for the Chelsea supporters. They've been very good with banter. They're one of the best out there. They'll banter you out. Our club wins trophies and stuff. But I know they're not really sleeping comfortably. I kind of feel that while your partner's snoring next to you, they're looking up. And they just don't feel content. They're still a bit aggy when they shouldn't be, because I know what I'm seeing, and I think deep down they know what they're seeing. I don't think the players that they've signed have been to the standard that they are used to signing. I understand they've got a new model now. You're going for players under 25 and stuff, but when you look at it, have they actually improved? João Pedro's been okay, but Sancho goes and then you bring Garnacho in. It's kind of like, and you get Gittins in, and it's like, look, it's just 3 blind mice here, isn't it? Really, like there's the choice. You can't say one is so much better than the other.
And then they're selling Madueke for 50 odd million. Are they any better than him in that aspect?
No, I don't think so. I said that the other week, and you guys agreed. I don't think any of their wingers that they brought in are. At best, they're on the same level as Madueke, but they're not better than him. Gittins is not better than Madueke from what I've seen, And I do think that he missed a trick by not bringing Garnacho on. And obviously, it's his return back to United. He might get a
but he should have brought him on. I'm with you, man. These are the ones,
I was 50-50, because mentally he's a bit nuts, isn't he? Some of the stuff he comes out with, the way he is, right? He's still a kid. He acts like a kid as well, still. Where some players don't,
true.
But he would go one way or the other. He'd come in and get sent off in 10 minutes, right?
I couldn't see him getting sent off.
I don't rate him that highly. I think there's a lot of talk about him. I don't see why Chelsea were after him so much. But then you look at the players they're signing, he fits in. I think one thing with Chelsea, which is clear, is as much as they're buying all these players, there's no standout. There's a few, don't get me wrong. But there's look at the defense. They put anybody in the middle, any of their 20 centre backs they've signed, and it all still about the same quality.
I think they're holding on to this. I think now it seems that what seems to be the echo chamber is, and I seem they're quite happy with it, is Caicedo being the best DM in the league. That is the one thing that they're holding on to. But look, this is an interesting thing with Chelsea. They sometimes start slow. I think they just need to be in and around the mix. I think the one thing I'll give them these credit. They impressed me towards the end of last season because I looked at that fixture list and I was like, these guys, they're not going to make it.
Forest, Newcastle, they've done really, really, really well. That's the pedigree of Chelsea. Despite them being miles off the pace league-wise, they're winners, man. As much as I hate on them and I don't respect them, they win. They when they
exactly.
They get the job done, and they know how to win trophies, man.
Maybe a domestic one this season. I think they should be aiming for.
I think Sam's a great point. With the keeper they've got, you're not going to win anything with that keeper.
No.
Right?
It's a straight red, right?
Yeah, straight red. But
so
why was he rushing out? It's the decision-making piece in that aspect. And I think that's going to blight them at the back as well. That's why you can't see... They could win something because that's what Chelsea do, right? Allegedly. But it's one of those where with this current team, without Cole Palmer, I think Cole Palmer is so key for that team.
Oh, yeah.
Functionality. I don't know how bad the injury is.
It's a recurring one, so it might. I think Enzo Maresca did say it's been bugging him for a while, and he might be out for a little while now. So that's a massive, massive blow because they move the way he moves. Yeah. He's their best player. I know, obviously, we had the rivalry with Saka and everything, but if you saw the goals he scored midweek against Bayern, he's a bad boy. Even the offside goal, he's a bad boy. And I know I've had a lot of agenda on him. You know, he's and rightly so, but let's be real. He's a player. He's not, the best in the world. And I know what happens is he'll go anonymous for 5 or 6 games, pop up with 2 goals, and then all of a sudden he's the best player since sliced bread. No.
He kind of went anonymous since Jan, bro.
Yeah, no, of course. But when he scores now, oh yeah, listen, he's back to his best, and he's the best. Is he the best English player since Gascoigne? Come on, stop doing all that, man. Rate him accordingly. We like to go too early on these guys. Yeah, he's a top player.
He's a top player. Yeah,
I think it's a massive blow. And if you look at the hallmarks, of the Chelsea sides of old compared to this current crop, they haven't got what made Chelsea in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and late 2000s. Those teams, they haven't got like the leadership in defense. They haven't got the know-how in midfield, and they haven't got a regular source of goals up front. Like the spine that made those Chelsea sides brilliant, they don't have. If you look at the defenders,
probably in the middle, Caicedo. I think that
is him and Fernandes.
Enzo, but it's not your Lampard and your Matisits and Matic.
I think Caicedo, he's one of the best. I think that one, that's the only thing. That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't complete the spine, as you're saying, Ed. You're right. The goalkeeper, centre back, no.
Centre back, no. Like Fofana, he's injury prone. We like listen.
It's sad though because I rate Fofana.
He was up there at one point. It was up there, right? As one of the the best young defenders in probably Europe at least. But the horrific injuries, tossing, meh. Disasi is not fit for purpose. He's not playing. What's happened to Badia Shield? Is he on the book still?
I think he's on loan. I don't, the amount of ingoings and outgoings of Chelsea sometimes.
It's actually looking quite scary for Chelsea. Before we move on, the one thing for me that I know that the record at Old Trafford is not great, but you can't lose to this current United team, man.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's what the thing is. I understand how it's a tough place it's not actually a tough place to go.
They'll have the 10-men thing as well behind them. The rain, everything about it was after 7 minutes, so.
After 7 minutes is true, but then again, you just think, Casemiro got sent off at halftime. But not great, and it's actually worrying. Cole Palmer now down. Obviously, Colwell out for the season as well. Robert Sanchez, he's number 1. They've had opportunities to replace him, and they haven't. And now he's down for 3 games as well. So it's going to be.
It'll just be the one. It'll just be the one because of the straight red.
Oh, is it one now?
It wasn't violent conduct.
It wasn't violent conduct. Yeah. It was a terrible. To be fair, it was quite. It was
stupid.
It was silly, but that's fine. But that's not too bad. Well, I don't know if that's good news or bad news for Chelsea supporters. That it's not a 3 and it's only a 1.
I think Chelsea fans probably want it to be 3. They can't stand him.
But I don't know that Jorgensen they
Do
signed.
not rate him at all.
Well, the backup, I'm not a massive fan of from what I've seen of him. I think Jorgensen, yeah. So let's see. Yeah. Long may it continue at Chelsea.
Right, we're going to finally move on to Graham Potter, an ex-Chelsea manager who moved. He took his time, to be fair. He didn't just rush. Obviously, he got paid out a nice amount. Graham Potter, do you know what? This is sad for me because, you know, when, you know, Brighton, they came into the Premier League, they were kind of relegation favourites, though, wasn't it? To be fair, Brighton, you're thinking, you know what? Are they going to stay in the league? And then they do. Last game of the season, obviously, looking at well, it was the manager that got so much. Chris Hughton got so much stick. I remember that time watching it, Ed, and we were actually thinking, hold on, is there something a bit more deeper than this?
Yeah.
Because he's just kept you up, Brighton, and the fans they just wasn't happy with it. They were thinking, we don't play this way. I'm not really having it. It's too negative. Haram football, as Naim will put it. Why are we keeping them? And they went and got Graham Potter. I think it was at Ostenstad, wasn't it? I remember him in the Champions League. And honestly, I just couldn't believe the results just started coming in. And I was thinking, Brighton, like they're actually really playing ball. Like this team is, and he established them. You know, he is the guy who established Brighton. Yes, they've gone on to De Zerbi and moving forward, but he was the guy that imprinted it. It was like, nah, obviously that, you know, we're going to get the players. We've got one of the best scouting systems, but how they played, very difficult to beat, played good football, positive. They became one of, I'm not saying your favorite team, but they were a team that you could not dislike them. And I understood when he got the opportunity for Chelsea, it was a tough one because, you know, he comes across as the nice guy. And Chelsea, I know Chelsea fans are going to come at me, but they do come across as this is the empire, isn't it? You know, this is the place where managers get sacked. There's controversy here. If they're not getting banned here, fine here, breaking. Like Chelsea are notorious, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? And you're thinking, but he took the gamble, Ed. Rightfully so.
Yeah, you're on the right.
Yeah, you know, you rightfully so, and it just seems like it's just been a downward spiral from there. You know, he lost the fan base at Chelsea, got sacked, waited for the right return. West Ham come in after getting rid of, you know, Ed's one of Ed's. I'm not gonna say one of Ed's favorite managers, but you always have stuck your neck on the line for him. Do you know what I mean? All the time. And Potter comes in, and you're thinking this is going to be interesting. Maybe he can do certain similar things to what he did at Brighton, but it's just gone from bad to worse, Ed. Man, this was really looking bad here.
He's in trouble, man. He's in trouble, and you're hearing reports in the Beeb that he's going to be fired. They're looking for interim managers. We don't know who. Apparently, Slaven Bilic has been rumored as an interim manager until they find a permanent manager for them. Allardyce and all those kind of managers, but. I wasn't expecting it to be this bad for him at West Ham. And they spent some money. They still kept Paqueta. Jared Bowen is still amongst the goals. They've got a decent enough squad for them to not be languishing where they're languishing, man. It is bad. And I do fear for him. I think one more defeat, which probably will happen, and he's a goner. Yeah, and the fans aren't happy. I know they're protesting against the ownership. With is it David Gold? Is that who's Gold, the one? Yeah. David Gold and Karen Brady.
Yeah, Karen Brady's well, yeah.
Yeah, so I know that they're not happy with the leadership that own and run the club. So yes, it's tough times at West Ham, man. Really, really tough times. And yeah, I just don't know whether I know they beat Forest, and that's probably against the run of play and maybe against even the run of results. But yeah, it's just not good. I don't think anything is working. I don't think his message is coming across to the players. When you look at him on the touchline, he looks lost a bit. Like he doesn't know what to do. He can't stem the tide. It just looks really, really bad. And I think the quicker they get rid of him, and I'm not actually advocating for him to be sacked, but the quicker they can get a new manager in, they can probably salvage the season, because the longer this goes, they're in real danger of relegation or finishing. Because they finished.
Well, I mean, they're 19th now, and 5
exactly.
games, 4 defeats already.
It's bad. It's bad. And with the team they've got some real guys in that team. They shouldn't be where they are in the league. But then the league doesn't lie. They're not been playing good. They're not a good side at the moment, man. They're lacking confidence.
We've seen better teams go down. Right? We've seen better teams go down.
100%. And you're never too big to go down. West Ham have been relegated before, maybe 2 or 3 times. So they know what it feels like.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think they're in big trouble, because also we were looking at the 3 coming up. Will they go straight down? But Sunderland have done well. Leeds won another game. Even Calvert-Lewin scored. Shout out to him. And you look at the even Burnley coming up. They look a bit more solid than most teams that have come up. So if I'm West Ham, you're looking at it. They've already got points on the board, right? You could build a bit of momentum. I think with Potter, my concern with him as well is that I think he's fine. When he was at Brighton, he had a lot of sort of players a bit under the radar. We didn't know too much about them. Didn't spend a lot of money. He was able to coach them. Look at me, and he was looked upon as slightly big fish in that scenario. He then goes to Chelsea. He's really got no man management skills with some of the bigger personalities there. And I think that's the same at West Ham. As much as they're a smaller club, West Ham, they've got some seasoned professionals. And for me, it just feels like he hasn't got that personality or anything about it. He always looks sitting there flat on the side of the touchline. I think West Ham was a bad move for him. Period. I just thought, I think look what they did to Moyes.
Yeah, I agree.
Praise be to Moyes. Look what they did to him. He won him the trophy. They played some good football as well under him as well.
No, listen, look.
You get what you deserve. You get a free stadium, right? I've got a thing, I don't know. I've been giving out all on this call, this show today.
I have to interject there. You lot are nasty business to that.
I have to.
But because I've had this tussle with Ed before. Look, the West Ham fans, we're always going to say you've got to be careful what you wish for and all this sort of stuff.
100%.
Look, David Moyes did win them a trophy and stuff like that. But like all clubs, another club can look and think, what are you moaning about? There's probably many fat supporters, probably 15 Premier League groups of supporters. I'll be like, you guys have spent the first 40 minutes moaning about challenging for league titles, maybe not winning them all the time, getting into the so come on, be fair now. Look at you snobs.
No, I'm being fair. No, but let's be fair. Potter was the wrong
time. They're paying their season ticket and they were watching dire football. Don't go on like, listen, David Moyes, fantastic to win that trophy, but don't go on like he was.
No, they got rid of him very quickly,
bro. There were relegation order.
Listen. The
so many times you can get slapped up, isn't it? Arsenal was slapping them up. What was it, 6-1 and
but they'd be dying in the end of it.
You want to change them,
but look,
be fair.
Look, I stick with it. I think Potter made the wrong decision going there. Period.
I agree. I
think he needed someone a bit more experienced to steady that ship a bit.
Someone more stubborn.
David Moyes, basically, yeah.
Moyes. Allardyce. Shout out to Allardyce.
Naim, I'm with you, man. I think the West Ham fans, whilst you might have had rights to, say, oh, we want more, or you want more on our look.
Wow.
Exactly. Now look, Allardyce. What you wish for, man?
Look what he did with your fellow countryman, JJ Okocha. Look how he turned out, that sort of player. He can play with the personalities as well. Allardyce for the West Ham. Bring him back.
Nah, don't bring back Allardyce. But
bring him back.
Nah, don't bring him back.
No, but I agree. I think Potter's the nice guy, isn't it? And I don't think. I think at West Ham, you need to not only listen. It's a club that's got staunch supporters. They've got an ideology how they want things to be played.
The West Ham way, yeah.
The West Ham way, because it's very interesting. I think we're unfair. We're a little bit unfair to certain clubs because we look at that. Oh, what is the West Ham way? And that's the way. When it comes to Spanish teams like Bilbao and Real Sociedad, and it's like we champion. Oh my god, it's the Basque region. Oh my god,
good food there. Good food.
Like they don't take these sort of plays unless you're, and we celebrate it. When it comes to our own club, am I lying, Ed? Let's be fair.
No, I'm with you. But ban West Ham, man.
I agree.
Tell him.
I agree. It's so weird that.
No, but it's true though. It's true. Like if it's a Spanish or French,
Yeah,
it's exotic, innit? Like it's that European flair, and it's like, nah, man, just a Spanish West Ham. You know what I mean?
Villarreal before. I know they won the Europa League, but for years it was like, oh yeah, but it's the way they play football, the yellow submarine, and oh my, you know what it was? The worst was the Bundesliga clubs. Oh, Schalke. Oh, you do know it's an industrial place, and that's
you leave it out, innit? No one cares, man.
Yeah, but so for West Ham, listen, when you go to that club, you need to manage the fan base as well. Let's just be real, because
they're a toxic fan base, isn't it? Like physically and online. They're up there. They are up there with that toxicity, man. They love it, innit? They love it.
So you got to give them what they want and stuff.
Yeah.
And
but what do they want though? That's the thing. What do they want?
You tell me. What's the West Ham way? You tell me.
Because I don't know the West Ham way. It's not my place to know.
It's attractive. It's attractive football, and that's what they want to play. Of course, they want to be. They want to be challenging, and fair play to West Ham. I think probably Alan Pardew. They want to be getting in the odd FA Cup final and Carabao Cup. I don't think that's fair, man. There's worse clubs like Wigan and these guys that get to final.
Liquor one FA Cup.
Come on. Like, it's a London club as well. You got to realise that. I understand what you're saying. Listen, when it comes to Charlton, you look at other London clubs, look, QPR, big club in historically, do you know what I mean, in London, they had their run in the 80s and the 70s. But you look at West Ham, obviously you got Spurs, Chelsea. You look at that's the next London club, isn't it? Arsenal. But you look at West Ham, they probably think we've got the London pull as well, because they get players. It's not like they don't get players. Like, it's quite a good pool. They sign players, so they're probably thinking, we just want a bit more. Like, we want a little bit of, a little bit more European nights, which they did get. And they're forever grateful for. That's like one of their greatest nights, winning that. But I'm with you guys, like but I think they well deserved. It's a fan base in Londoners as well. Remember,
they're a massive London club in terms of popularity. Like, a lot of people support West Ham. They get 50,000 in that stadium every year. That's West Ham country. East London is West Ham country.
That way, going into Essex, Romford, all that.
Romford, all that way. Ilford, that's all West Ham.
We don't come across down this side. There are not many around here. But,
okay, before we go on, who do you reckon would be in for the running here?
For the West Ham job?
Would he take it, or do you think he'll probably think he's too big for West Ham now?
Who's that?
Southgate. I think he'll probably think, nah.
Is he waiting for Man United?
That's a good job. I don't think he wants a club. I think he
won't know himself to them.
The day-to-day of running a club football team, I don't think he wants that. Something just tells me I don't think he wants to do the day-to-day and like the stress of Nah. I think he enjoyed having the best crop of players for a short amount of time, rather than having to see the same faces every day. And just remember, he was at Middlesbrough and he didn't go too well. So he's had a crack at club football, and I don't think I don't speak for him because I don't know him, but like I don't know if he wants to do that. You know what I mean? I don't think he wants to do that.
He's just moving like Sesko's agent here, man.
That's it. There's not much about. There's not much about. I mean,
listen, this is a podcast. We speak like we know these players and these managers. Come on, man.
Trust.
If Arteta was watching this, hopefully you do, Arteta. Thank you for subscribing. He'll probably think, does this Ed guy know me? Maybe I should invite him out for dinner because he seems to know.
He might get in a job.
But the speculation is you're correct.
Yeah, I don't think and especially not that club. Jesus, can you imagine? Like the stress if it goes left.
I think.
I'm gonna go.
You know what? I don't think you can be a conservative manager there because they won't.
What they might do is
Zerbi would be good. Zerbi would be good.
Carrick doing a good job. He's ex-West Ham, isn't he, as well? He's going to be looked upon. Maybe they might give him a go. A young manager might get a bit of time because of him being ex-West Ham potentially. He did play for Spurs as well, so that's that thing as well. But it could be him. Could it be someone wild card like Cesc Fabregas who's flying at Como?
Listen,
you don't know any days nowadays because the way the Premier League pay money. Amorim's going to finally get his move to West Ham.
I think Amorim will go back to Portugal.
Fabregas will never go West Ham. Fabregas is on his next club is going to be a big club.
I think it'd be Arsenal. It could be Arsenal. I would not be surprised if he comes into Arsenal if Arteta doesn't. Write it down. Nostradamus.
I'm with you.
With Fabregas, coming back to the West Ham, listen, if there's one player there's a few players that they used to carry the so-called arrogance of Arsenal Football Club, and they used to carry it well. One was Thierry Henry. I think the moment that was solidified I think it was against Liverpool when Gerrard gave the back pass and he did the celebration. he tried to talk it down and say that he smelt it, but he said he smelt it. Basically, he's just saying that's stinky, isn't it? Like that stinks, that back pass. Yeah, exactly.
He smelt the pass. Yeah.
Another one was Cesc Fabregas. Look, this is a guy who, away at Old Trafford, he's throwing pizza at Sir Alex Ferguson.
He's a kid as well.
Catalan,
there's pizza on his face like this.
No, he didn't care. He's got the strong blood. This is a guy, again, I think it was after the game Blackburn. I think it was against Blackburn, and Mark Hughes was actually really offended and said he had to speak to Arsene Wenger because after the game, obviously Arsenal beat them. After the game, Cesc Fabregas walked up to, I don't know if you know this story, walked up to Mark Hughes. I said, do you used to play for Barcelona? And he went, yeah. And he goes, no chance. Like the way you play football, you could not have played for Barcelona. The way you set up this Blackburn team, bro.
It was something like that. It was like, I heard you play for Barcelona. I don't believe you. I don't believe you or something because of how you play for.
No. He literally said, no. No way. The way you set this team up, the way you like to play football, you couldn't play. And this is a 21-year-old man.
So I would have rushed him. If I'm Mark, I would have rushed him. What?
So I can't see, him, taking on.
But then who takes over? Who goes to West Ham? If you were in the boardroom there with that Brady and Sullivan,
Michael Carrick's a good shout. Someone like a Michael Carrick. It has to be. I think it has to be a young up and coming coach. I don't know if they want to do get Roy Hodgson in and all them kind of man. Nah,
I think they missed the boat with Areola. I think they missed the boat. He's gonna go
Probably. on. Or even Glasner. Someone like a Glasner would have been good for them.
Yeah. He's Glasner.
Glasner's gonna go.
He's going to go United or something.
United. He'll be the United
top job. He's gonna get a top job.
And we're talking about the West Ham, but we've got to give credit to Crystal Palace.
Another win.
Obviously, look at Naeem. Honestly, it is really bad. This is, man. Do you know
it's nice to see, though. Isn't it? It's just nice to see. As a club, everyone's
been supporting this club. Why? This is your South London.
It's because I live in the I live in the Borough of Croydon now, isn't it? So I've got a lot of Palace fans around me, and the club throughout our whole history has been. They provided a lot of good players coming out of it. Good catchment area for a lot of.
So why didn't you support them? Why is it you should have supported your hometown?
It's because you come here, South London, you support the colour with Arsenal. We know this conversation, right? I thought if you look at Palace, if you take away Ezra's gone, Sarr's injured, two of their best players from last year, right, playing side by side at that time, right? They still want to win 3-1. This is undefeated, in the league. You've got to give the credit. This is where
definitely
Glasner. It's all Glasner. It's because he hasn't signed. It's the same players, right? It's coming, but it's the same players and what he's done to that team. I've been blown away with what Glasner's done to that club in terms of the way they're playing football.
And I liked he had a bit of listen with the Mark Gay. I like him sometimes because he said, "Look, I allowed it as but you're not gonna go and do. You're not gonna go and mash me up." Do you know what I mean? Like you're not don't get rid of him now. If you do it, I'll walk, man. And look, they're 5th place currently, Palace. Do you know what I mean? 5th place at the moment. Very early days.
Very small squad as well. And with the I think obviously Europe this week. So with the Conference League, you think how will that go? They're going to keep Wharton fit. They're going to keep Mateta fit. Keep Mark Gay fit. But credit to them. When it went 1-1, I looked at it, I thought maybe West Ham might sneak some, but credit to Palace to come back and win 3-1 there. I think as a club, there's no real negatives around them in that respect. We're looking at a lot of the other clubs around London here and there. There's just that. Credit to them. They run relatively well, being besmirched not being in the Europa League. and
I'm with you.
And they give a lot of opportunity for our local lads down here. So
it's really bad, man.
We can talk about it's about context, but you've got to think about the opportunities they've given to a lot of people of colour in terms of football players as well around here. There's not many teams that get the catchment area. There's a perception around Millwall. There's as many in Charlton as there used to be, but Palace is still.
No, you're right. They've given. Listen, I second that.
That's why I always give them their credit.
Always giving. You're right. Around South London, always giving people of colour opportunities and stuff. I just wish that the young people around there would also give them a bit of credit and support them rather than say, I should support Man United.
We'll give you Man United. That's true. That is true. It's a lot of Man United fans.
There is a lot. It's really bad, A
lot of Peckham Reds in it, man.
A lot of Peckham Reds.
It's really bad. But anyway, listen, man, enough of that. Ed and Naim, thank you for today. You've been very, very nasty. Quite harsh, I think, today.
From Monday
as well, I
thought I'm in pain from what Arteta tried to inflict on us, man. Yeah, I'm not happy with that, man. Honestly, you see, what makes me even more sick is the section of his cult fan base that tried to justify this nonsense that he serves up.
Yeah,
it will never be well, you lot. It will never be well. You lot told me that Marino should have played at home against a Man City, only for your supreme leader to hook him. It is well.
I mean,
Supreme leader. I think that's
Supreme leader, man.
Yeah, no, listen, look, I didn't say a mistake was made in the first half. It's going to be a long season, and only time will tell if the 5 points are detrimental. Only time will tell. But listen, he's got the weapons there to use it. It's going to be a long week for him, I think. It's going to be a lot of thinking before that Newcastle game.
Too much thinking, though. You think too much.
Newcastle Sunday, right? Sunday, is it?
Sunday, 4:30.
That's away from home, innit?
Yeah.
There's a way to defeat Newcastle. There is a way to defeat Newcastle, and that's play with technique. Pop them off the park. If you try to go fight for fight, that's their game. And
look what Barca did in the Champions League.
I'm very confident, guys. I'm very, very confident now. I just kind of think when I saw Saka back and so as I thought, do you know what? I like this. So now I'm very confident. We will see what happens, man. But guys, please like, subscribe, and share. Take care.
Peace out.